Good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to our Week 9 recap video. Again, lots to talk about. It seems like there is a race for the 6th place spot, but we will dive into that in our analysis. We actually have a special guest this evening helping me to do the analysis of what took place this week. Hopefully it'll help liven up the weekly recap. But let's jump on over to our scene where we examine things and see who is here to join me. It is none other than Mr. Kevin Rabideau of the Fourth and Drunk team. Kevin, how you doing tonight?
It's my pleasure being here. Thank you for the invite. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to dive into this recap and break down how everybody performed, or in my case, underperformed, and just a little mightily disappointing this week. But we're moving up and on.
Awesome. Alrighty, so we're just taking a quick quick peek at the standings as we always do. We're going to revamp this next year so that we don't have an East and West because it's so pointless and it really doesn't matter. Or, I don't know. We'll see what you guys think about that. But we've got Kevin and Matt still sitting at 7-2, top of the table. Me, Dunn, and Jared are all at 6-3. And then Joe has actually snuck into 6th place at 4-5 with Sternick, Ben, at 3-6, and then obviously Brandon and Ari pulling up the rear as they have been doing throughout the season. Kevin, what are your thoughts on just looking at the standings so far? Are you surprised by anybody? Are you what do you think?
I mean, from past ratings, I mean, Joe's coming out of nowhere right now. He's been shit in the bed all season, and he's sliding right up into that 6th spot out of nowhere, in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a surprising take. You know, he's always at number 7 with Ari at 8, and now he's at number 6. I mean, that's moving up one spot, he was at number 9.
I know.
Whatever it was.
I think he won 3 or 4 games, three games in a row. But
yeah, well, he's winning 2 in a row right now, and it's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We've got 3 teams now in the 1,000-point club for points for myself, Kevin, and Matt. I did notice something today. I wanted to point this out. Kevin and Matt's team have been strong since the beginning, as they have only pulled off 7-5 moves. Where I feel like I've been scrambling every single week with a whopping 22 moves in the waiver wire. I've been piecing together a team every single week. It feels very stressful because I've had 3 running backs at this point go on IR, so I am just scrambling every week.
The weekly waivers are your friend.
They have
been. You are there to take full advantage of it.
And, it could go either way because you see me with 22 moves and Ari with 20, and the results are quite different. So
clearly somebody's fantasy football skills are better than somebody else's. We'll leave that for the end of the season to determine.
That's hilarious. All right, we'll jump over quickly just to this thing that means absolutely nothing, but it's sometimes fun to look at. Not too much, honestly, has changed here besides Joe going to 8 instead of 9, with Brandon now coming back to 9. It does have Matt projected to beat you, with you in 2nd and me in 3rd. But, again, this thing is so stupid. So it has Jared in 6th when he's 6-3. So I don't know what this thing.
None of it makes sense.
No. Anyways, let's go over to the scoreboard and do what we are all waiting for. Looking at the recaps. So we're actually starting off with our matchup. It was myself versus Kevin.
Jumping right in.
Jumping right into the beginning. Really, this just kind of boiled down to my top 3, my big 3, Eckler, Allen, and Hill, all performing, with Kenyon Drake coming out of left field and putting up 24 points. I was very happy with my team's performance, so that's what I will say.
I mean, breaking down that one, you just came out and you dominated. My team just said we are mid. Kenneth Walker said I will play. Everybody else said, AJ Brown said, I'm not scoring 35 again. I will score 13.
I was surprised that DeAndre Swift only put up 6.
Swift, he is Mr. Disappointment this season for my team. I mean, it also didn't help having Amari Cooper on my bench. which
Yeah.
Ben just tried to trade me A.J. Dillon for Amari Cooper, yet Amari Cooper is the number 8 wide receiver in fantasy.
Is he really?
Yet A.J. Dillon is a 3-point per game scorer in fantasy. Yet Ben says I can give up my depth, and A.J. Dillon will be a starter once Aaron Jones gets injured. So I declined to that one.
Yeah,
waiting for a low counter.
I caught you on a good week. McCaffrey was on a bye. Mark Andrews was a late scratch, which I saw that and I was like, all right, there's a chance.
Yeah.
I was watching that game very afraid because likely got a touchdown early.
He got a touchdown. I mean, I figured he would play decently well. He's going to get the targets. He plays well as a backup.
Yeah, no, he's not bad.
Olave gets his 10 points, which is all I ask from him. I had a good week. I was middle of the week in points, but, I mean, you were the week's highest scorer, and there's nobody who can beat the week's highest scorer. My tight end didn't do crap. Higbee has lost all traction. So I don't know how I got Njoku off the wire, but I'm excited to see. Hopefully once he's back from injury, he'll be all right. But that'll be a great fill-in for your squad.
Yes. I felt bad for Ari on this one. He put up points, more points than he's used to seeing. But again, I mean, there's just the Patriots defense is the highest scoring person on his team. So when
there's not much promising on that roster. There's really not much going for it other than Nick Chubb, and at this point, he should just try and trade Nick Chubb. He does not deserve to be on that team. He should be released.
He just got Nick Chubb from Sternig. That was the blockbuster deal.
Oh, that was the trick.
He got Nick Chubb and Cordero Patterson, and I think that's it.
Yeah. I forgot about that trade.
Yeah. So
I'll stick by my word. He should let him go and enjoy a winning team. As he was on the Browns, he doesn't need 2 terrible teams to be on.
I thought the trade was interesting because Ari's chance of making it to the actual playoff bracket is slim to none at this point.
Nothing.
So he was kind of second, but in his defense, once Jacobs actually performs and he has Chubb and Patterson all starting, and he has Harris on his bench, like if Najee Harris ever figures it out, he's been terrible this year. But that's not a terrible. That's a pretty solid. That's a better running back core than mine.
The unfortunate part is you can only play 3 running backs in a lineup.
Right.
And he has about 5 running backs who he could potentially play, and maybe the most inconsistent wide receiver group with only Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
The double stack of wide receivers. Interesting move.
Yeah, it is interesting to see. But you could see, I think what he did could save him from the punishment. That's what I will say. Looking at Brandon versus Matt, we knew what the result was going to be of this one, even if Matt's team kind of underperformed to what he's used to.
100. I mean, I have Amon-Ra. We have multiple names for this guy in my league. The Sun God, Almond Joy, you name it, bring it up. He has just been a disappointment since returning from injury.
Yeah.
And that is hurting Matt's team right now. He does not have super great wide receiver depth, especially with now Michael Thomas going out for season. Yeah, Mike Evans, Tom Brady's ass. Yep, Thomas is done for the year. So his wide receivers, I mean, D-Hop, obviously, dog.
Yeah, the fact that I was about to pick him, and Matt picked him right before me in the draft, so.
So, I mean, if Mike Evans can figure out his shit, and, I mean, now that Hawkins is gone, Amon-Ra should be a dog. Matt, he is easily my front runner to win this league. I am very much impressed with his team.
Yeah, Matt's team is stupid. I mean, Etienne has really found himself in the past couple weeks.
That's what I'm saying. He is a league winner at this stage in the game.
Yeah,
especially with Trevor Lawrence at your quarterback, he wants to hand that ball off and dump that ball off to his Clemson teammate. It's a necessity.
Yeah, not too much to report kind of besides that. And this one, I mean, Brandon's team just doesn't have what it needs.
There's no hope.
This next game was a very critical game in the standings race. Sternick was coming in at 3-5, and Ben was 2-6. So this is a big win for Ben this week. Granted, he is incredibly lucky with Joe Mixon putting up 53 points. However, I was very happy about that because that means that Joe Burrow was not throwing touchdowns. So...
Exactly. I'll also say Joe Burrow, he carried me in my other league. It is a very much proud moment to be a Joe Mixon owner and a very proud day that I did not have to face Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the rest of Ben's team, and everyone sucked. Like if Joe Mixon put up an average week of like 20 points,
he's under 100.
They would have tied.
Yeah.
No, he would have lost. He would have lost.
Yeah, he would have lost by 10 points.
So, yeah, Ben got saved by the bell. I think it's going to be interesting. I was talking to Sternick. He just picked up Odell. So, depending on how Odell comes out of free agency, it depends on where he goes, and it depends on how quick he can figure it out, and he's coming off an injury. But that could help Sternick somewhat heading into the playoff season. I mean, he does have... he has Devontae Adams, Diggs, and Devontae Smith, so I don't know.
Irrelevant. Odell's hasn't been a fantasy wide receiver in 3 years.
Well, there you go, Sternick. Your play was stupid, and it doesn't mean anything. So... And then Jared put up the least amount of points this week as a 6-2 team at the time, losing to Joe, who again put up very average numbers. But yeah, what happened to Jared's team here? I guess he's got bye trouble, but
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, self-explanatory, dog shit.
I don't know what happened to him. He has fallen off.
He just is nobody anymore. I don't know what's happening. I have him in a different league. He is sad. I'm benching him for Russell Wilson sometimes. I don't want to play either of those guys.
Yeah, both those guys have fallen all. It's been an interesting year in the NFL because Brady stinks, Rodgers stinks, and Russell Wilson stinks. So these three guys that have been kind of staples in the league for a long time are.
I've invested into those guys, and they are just not helping me.
No. Absolutely not. Justin Fields put on a clinic. I didn't even realize that he scored 42 points. Wow.
Yeah, he was just a running man. That's all he did. Can't throw the ball. Still can't throw.
Wow, he had 178 yards. Holy crap. And he still threw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but those touchdowns were probably 3-yard passes.
Oh, they were. They definitely were.
Irrelevant.
He's only thrown over 200 yards once this week. Or once this year.
He hasn't thrown a single game of more than 28 passes is the most he's thrown in a game. Tom Brady even threw 50 passes last game.
Wow.
He probably threw for 100 yards, but...
That is true.
Yeah. No, these teams... Also, I do not know how Jared is winning a single game right now. I don't know how he is a 6-3 team.
Jared started off very hot. I am impressed with Jared's fantasy performance so far this year. I busted him after the first game or two and said, "Ain't no way this keeps going." But he has come to play. Him and Ari have traded positions basically. Ari's not typically like dead last, like 1-8. Exactly. That's Jared and Brandon territory and Joe territory. Ari's up there with the dogs sometimes, but I don't know. Something's in the water.
It's going to be an interesting turnout. I mean, he might be heading in the downward trend. I mean, look at this game. I think Joe might be coming up and sliding through. He'll be easy sneak. He's on my eyes, easily going into the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I mean, anything.
Especially with Jamar Chase coming back for playoffs, that's going to be a big time turnaround for him.
Yeah, anything could happen at this point, especially for that 6th spot. I think right now, the 6th spot is in Joe's hands, but Sternick's right there, Ben's right there. Jared could fall off. I still don't feel safe. I mean, I think I'm playing Matt this week, so I don't really that could not be good for me. So I'm playing Matt.
It's never a good week facing Matt.
No, never a good week. Arian Stearns, this is also a big game too. Jared and Dunn are playing.
Dunn's sneaky this year. He's kind of just riding the quiet ground.
He kind of is. I mean, he has Taylor, who's been very average on the bench. So we'll see. You're playing Ben. That's a big. If you beat Ben that game, that's gonna be
My team's healthy this week. It's all about the health and bye weeks. This week bit me in the ass, but hopefully we'll come back.
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, if you beat Ben and Sternick wins, it depends on this game too. Yeah, so I don't know. Anything can happen at this point.
Every game's a big game.
Every game is a big game. We have 5 games left in the regular season. 5 games left in the regular season. Anything could take place, but it has been entertaining to say the least. So, Kevin, do you have any final thoughts for the boys?
We got 5 weeks left. Let's keep fantasy up. Let's put some more points on the board. I don't want to see any more under 100-point performances. It's a little disappointing. I think we need to get some repercussions if you're putting low points out there. 60-point games are unacceptable.
Yeah, that we've had quite a few this year. So,
which I've wanted to try and maybe toss something in, a little weekly punishment if you score under a bar. Like my league right now, we have a 110-point mark. If you score under 110, you're doing a beer 100-yard dash.
Wow, 110 is high amount of. Do you have like an extra flex?
We have 2 quarterback, 3 running back, 3 receiver.
Oh, okay, all right. So
points are a little fluctuating. So like the average score is around 180.
Okay, all right.
So we set the bar 110. We've had 3 beer hundreds so far this year.
Huh. I like that.
So
I like the idea.
I think in the future we should start setting the bar, because this 60-point games are a little disappointing. At least to me, as a winning manager right now, I want a little bit more competition out here in the playing fields.
Big words from Kevin. I feel like this is good. I feel like this year, I don't know what it is, but I'm taking fantasy more seriously. But I feel like now that we're older too, like it's more fun in a sense that there's more we can do with it.
I mean, you're a married man. You need a little hobby on the side. This is what you're doing now.
This is it. This is what I was made for. But that does bring up a good point. If you have watched the entire video, I know it's a longer one today, but hopefully it was fun. We are getting to the point in the year where we talked about this at the beginning about purchasing a trophy. And so I'm going to send a couple different options in the group chat to have you guys vote. We'll all split the cost of the trophy. I'll put in all the years that we have prior, the ones that we remember who won. And I think our website only has like the past 3 years, 3 or 4 years. But I just want to make sure it gets here in time for the ceremony. So be on the lookout for that. But until next week, I'll catch you boys later. Kevin, thank you so much for being here with me.
It was a pleasure.
And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.